If you've just started playing Anno 1800, this video contains a bunch of useful tips that will help you get over the initial learning curve. I'm not here to play the game for you, we're just addressing the most annoying things new players will come across in the early game so you can get on with actually enjoying it. First up, and simply because it's so freaking cool, is the first person mode, which a lot of players don't even realize exists. If you hold Ctrl, Shift and R, you'll be able to walk, run and jump around the worlds that you've created. It's fun to do, but also makes it easier to perform the quests that your workers give you, as generally they require you to find something on your city streets. Next up, we're going to look at the single most important thing you can do in Anno 1800, keeping your workers happy. Happiness is based on several factors, and in this video we'll focus on the most important. Happiness derived from fulfilling your workers' needs. This works on a house-by-house basis. So in the early game, the best thing you can do is click on individual houses to assess their needs. When you click on each house, you'll notice a couple of tabs. The first shows the basic needs for that house, and the second shows the luxury needs. Generally speaking, fulfilling the basic needs on the first tab will increase the number of people in that house, further increasing your workforce. Then, fulfilling their luxury needs on the second tab will increase how much tax that house is willing to pay, making you a wealthy son of a gun. I cannot overstate how important this is. It's central to everything in Anno 1800. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you a village layout you can use at the beginning of the game to ensure your first batch of farmers are happy. It'll give you a great grounding to build upon, but before that, let's address some other issues in a quick-fire fashion. The million-dollar question. How do you make more money in Anno 1800? Well, you can either build more houses or fulfill more of your current workers' needs. Ideally, both. If you are already fulfilling your workers' needs, you literally just need to build more housing. New workers will move in and they'll pay you tax right away. But if you're not fulfilling all of your current workers' needs, you have more work to do, but it's quite simple. Go to the population tab in the top left and sort your worker houses by their happiness. Click on the unhappiest house and check the two tabs we looked at earlier. Chances are you'll see they're lacking a particular product, or they're not close enough to a particular building, like a pub. Now you know what you need to provide them with to meet their needs, then you can build some more tax-paying houses. If you find you haven't got enough workers, a quick but temporary fix is to pause production on particular buildings to free up some of your workforce. Click on a building, click here, and it's as simple as that. I found, for example, that although you would ideally be producing weapons from a weapon factory, if you're not currently at war and already have a fleet of ships, the factory becomes kind of optional, especially if those workers would be of more use making products that meet your workers' needs, until you get more workers to do both, of course. If you find a building or group of buildings are in the wrong place, don't worry, you can just shift them around, even if they're already built. Click on this button, highlight the buildings you want to move, reposition them, and it's as simple as that. For beginners, this and the next few tips are so incredibly useful. If you're getting bored of upgrading each house individually, click on this button, then drag over the buildings you want to upgrade and it'll upgrade them all at once, provided you have the resources to do so. You can rotate buildings before placing them by clicking the mouse wheel. Handy when your city is getting cramped and you have some odd-shaped buildings to place, or you have OCD and everything needs to be just right. If you want to duplicate a particular group of buildings without clicking them into place individually again, there's a copy and paste function. Click here, highlight them to copy, and you can just place the whole lot again and again. Fed up of placing buildings and roads in the wrong place and having to demolish or move them? Click here to use the blueprint mode, where you can place buildings to your heart's content before actually building them. When you're happy with the setup, you can use the upgrade tool we mentioned earlier to actually build them all. If your workers are happy but your production isn't quite high enough, you can increase the production rate of existing products. But be warned, the further you increase it, the more you will decrease your workers' happiness. But if they're already really happy, why can't they just be quite happy and make you more stuff? Alternatively, if your production is more than enough but your workers are unhappy, you can reduce the production rate to increase their happiness. How to manually transfer goods onto or off of a ship eluded me for a worrying amount of time, but it's quite simple. When your ship is in range of a trading post, you can click here to open the transfer menu, then select the goods to transfer between the two. So simple that I kicked myself when I found out. Claiming and setting up on a new island is easy too. Sail a ship with some timber and steel over to a beach on the island that you'd like to claim, and when you get close enough, you'll see a blueprint of a trading post appear. Click on the trading post and it will give you the option to build one. Congratulations, the island is yours. There will come a point where you'll need to ship goods between your islands, but setting up a trading route can be tricky for new players to figure out. To set one up directly from a ship, select the ship and click here, which opens the trading route menu. Click the island you want goods picked up from, then select the goods you want the ship to pick up. After that, select the island you want the ship to deliver the goods to, and that's basically it. Another way is to click here, select trade route, select from your list of ships, then the island and goods in the same way as before, and you'll end up with the same result. When you eventually reach the new world, you'll notice it's an entirely separate map, but there's a way of transferring your ships between these two maps. Select the desired ship, click on this button here, then select the new world. It'll take them a few days to arrive, but they'll get there eventually. Next up is something a little more detailed, but absolutely essential for new players: how to find and fix supply issues, ideally before they become a problem. For this, you'll want to click on the Production tab, which will list each resource, and you'll notice a blue market bar and a green cog bar for each one. The green cog shows how much of that product you are producing, and the blue market bar shows how much your workers are consuming. There's a useful column to the right of this where 0 means you're meeting demand, positive is exceeding it, and negative means production is too low. Click to sort this column to show you the lowest number at the top, so you know instantly whether more production is required and where. You'll want to check this menu every now and again, as it's a great way of identifying issues before they become a problem. Now, as promised, I'm going to show you a basic setup that will fulfill all of your farmers' needs at the beginning of the game to help you get that initial momentum. And once you understand how this works, you can apply these basic rules to the rest of the game. Firstly, your farmers' houses need to be close enough to a market, which is a basic need, and a pub, which is a luxury need. The market and the pub have a limited range, so we're going to build them at the center, with a bunch of houses around them. But the range isn't about how close the house is to the pub, it's all about the roads that connect them, so be sure to build plenty of roads between the buildings so the pub can deliver its pubness, and that's two needs sorted right away. It's worth bearing in mind that you'll need wood to build all of this, so be sure to build at least one lumberjack's hut, along with a sawmill that are both connected by roads and are close to a warehouse. A quick tip, the lumberjack's hut is less effective when other buildings are placed nearby, so be sure to give it some space. Now we just need to set up our production to satisfy the rest of our farmers' needs. Fish is super easy, just build a fishery. For workers' clothes, build yourself a sheep farm, then a framework knitters, one of each will do for now, and place them next to a warehouse. And similarly for schnapps, you need a potato farm and a schnapps distillery. That, my friends, is everything. If you go for 2 lumberjacks and 2 sawmills, and I recommend you do, this setup will require a total of 185 workers to operate at full efficiency. So as long as you have 19 houses, you will end up with more than enough farmers who will fulfill their own basic and luxury needs with the goods that they're producing. However, the full tax intake from 19 happy farmer houses is outweighed by the running costs of the buildings. So to turn a profit, you actually want to build at least 30 farmer houses in total. This setup will be able to support 30 houses as long as you build them near enough the pub and the market, but just bear in mind that you won't have the wood to build 30 all at once. So just start with 10 houses at first, and build more and more as your production gets up and running and the wood becomes available. If you can get your head around how and why this works, then trust me, you can conquer the rest of the game. But if you struggle at any point, just ask me any questions you might have in the comments below. Don't forget to let us all know how you get on with the game, and feel free to share any tips you have that will help new players enjoy Anno 1800. See ya.